Okay, I think we're up.
You think?
I think
Well, let me check.
we are up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the G Show live stream. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. That's right. I'm going to have to start calling this the Friday Godzilla Block Party all over again, considering this is the third week in a row that we are live streaming. That's right, we're coming to you live once again on a Friday evening. And oh boy, do we got a lot to talk about here because, oh shit, CinemaCon happened this weekend. Lovely Las Vegas. And it's been confirmed. What the hell does concern me? I don't know. But it's been confirmed. Monarch Season 2 is a go. But not only that, Legendary dropped some crazy ass shit when they say Monarch Season 2 and spinoffs. What does it mean? Joining us here to break it all down, we got my right hand when it comes to the G Show, G73, aka Megzy, aka my brother Chase. What's up?
Greetings from Planet X. I'm doing great, man. Godzilla is in a renaissance right now, and I am loving it.
Yes, sir. Also joining us, it is JR. What's up?
My feet hurt.
Sounds personal. And last but not least, joining us from his lunch break, Gam Z1. How the hell are you?
Hi, I got something in my mouth. Hang on.
Oh boy.
How's it going, everybody?
That was personal.
Wow, right off the bat. Right
Listen,
off
I had a sandwich. I was in the middle of a bite. I wasn't ready.
You say you're chewing.
Yeah.
I'm chewing.
Your choice of words.
It was plausible.
Anyways.
Oh, I still love you.
Great. We are not in a resurgence, all right? We are in a new golden age. That's what this is.
Totally.
Define golden.
Which is why it's called Godzilla Golden Week.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's right. We also have stuff coming up. We're gonna talk about the stuff coming up that Toho's doing in G-Fest in Osaka at the end of this month. What, the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, brother Chase?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Oh my God, what is going on? I cannot wait. I was in the ER yesterday, feeling a little funny, but they gave me a clean bill of health, which means it's time for the silver bullets to go down cold. I don't care. Please, I hope my doctor's not listening. Anyhow. My doctor's name is Russell.
Oh, God.
No.
Dr. Russell?
Dr. Russell. Monarch!
Oh, goodness.
Dr. Russell from Monarch.
Making it sound like it was Dr. Mafuni.
That would be even scarier. Could you imagine Dr. Mafuni pop up? He's like on par. He's like, maybe he's in a spinoff. Spinoff is the Apex show. Maybe he's in a spinoff and he's helping them create Mechagodzilla. Dr. Mafuni.
Apparently, according to, I take this with a grain of salt, of course, but according to KDM on the good old tweeters, one of the spin-off shows is going to start with a C.
A C?
A C, yes.
Yeah, it could be codename, cadmium, chocolate, who knows?
Who knows?
In the Godzilla universe, that's very, very vague.
It is. KDM is always purposefully vague.
Do you have any speculations on that? Yeah, games.
I'm not too sure on that. I don't know very many kaiju that start with a C, so it may be like a classified type thing, or it may be like covert, even, where we get like G-Team.
Oh God, bring it back, please. Run.
Wait, what kaiju does start with a C? Now you're messing with me.
Scylla.
That's
No,
an
Scylla
S.
starts with an F.
Oh, it does?
And Kamazot starts with a K.
Yeah, and even Kamacuras and
Kamazot
Kumanga.
was with a C, but they already did Kamazot, so.
Caesar, King Caesar.
Oh God, no.
I don't think it has anything to do with a monster. I think it's gonna be like, I think classifieds is more like Monarch classifieds sounds like something they could do.
Dude.
But isn't
That would
Monarch
be
already
sick.
classified? Like,
Well, no, it's like because you can do your mainline Monarch show, and then you have Monarch Classifieds.
You could have
And
like
it's
a little mini series where it is just monster centric.
Exactly, and that's what Classifieds could be, where every episode they're finding the Bigfoots and the Loch Ness monsters of the Monsterverse.
Oh my
I
god.
thought that was Tiamat.
Yeah, that too.
Hold up. Gams, didn't we speak about this one time on the G1 and Z1 show? How we should have like the Monarch X-Files?
Yeah,
dude.
dude, that would be so cool.
Good
That
lord.
would be so dope.
I'm so down for that one.
It's like
Oh,
the Men
excuse
in
me.
Black, but the Monarch in Black.
Oh, it's kind of like
all right.
it's kind of like Ultraman Nexus. They're doing that thing. If they see the Beast, or a Beast as they call them in the show, they have a team, the Brain Team. That's the name of it. And they go around and they Men in Black mind wipe you with a little fucking laser flashlight thing. It's the funniest thing in the world. But that damn song is dope as fuck. That intro to Ultraman Nexus. Give it a listen. Anyhow, off topic. Back on topic. Monarch Season 2 confirmed. Does the cast return? They would have to return.
Definitely, yeah. With Kate and all them, and then Keiko, seeing her like adjust to the modern world, that would be because like she's completely displaced. The last time she saw the light of day was the 1950s. Now we're in 2017 as at the end of the Monarch show. That's some whiplash right there for somebody.
You're absolutely
Dude.
right. Culture shock.
And I'm down for the cast returning. You know, we're going to have the -1. See what I did there? Kurt Russell, definitely. I wish he would, but I don't think you can write away that.
He's not dead.
I don't think he's dead, but, you know, he looks dead.
Until we see a body.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, that's true.
They left that way open to interpretation. Way open.
I'd be down for Kurt Russell to come back. He was the highlight of this series. And you could tell he was having fun.
And now that he's won a Critics' Choice Award.
God, I wouldn't be surprised to see Anna Sawai win. What was that? Was that a burp?
No, that was like a cop.
Oh, my bad. I wouldn't be surprised if Anna Sawai won an award for Shogun. And then it'd be like a trifecta. But yeah, look, I'm excited. I am extremely excited that they announced season 2. Do you think they announced season 2 because of the success of GXK? Because let's not make no mistake about it. The movie is quite popular. And in terms of like,
it's just about to hit 400 mil this weekend.
Yeah, in terms of like not the critics, the fans, and like people love it. The audiences are loving it. Fandom, you know, aside, people are enjoying the shit out of this movie, and so that's a good sign.
I've been talking to people that aren't big into Godzilla. For instance, like I have a family member. He never really cared much for Godzilla. He would watch him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's whatever." He got really invested in the show. He's like, "This is hands down some of the best Godzilla content I have ever seen," and I'm like, okay, that's weird, but I'm glad you enjoy it. I can't take that away from you. And he's like, no, I love it. I love the story and how it goes back in the Monsterverse and ties stuff together. He digs it. And that's what's cool about the audiences is they're like, okay, I could like binge the series or watch it episode to episode. And it just, you don't have to know the grander scheme of the Monsterverse to know what's going on with the story. If you haven't watched 2014, you could kind of just watch the show. And it does work in a way. I know this. Because, again, it's family members.
It's true. And the cast and the characters, they all work. Like, we could have it. So if you want your in-depth stories and character development and all that, you watch the TV shows. If you want big monster punchy fight, you watch the movies.
Yeah.
That's true. And you know what? That's a great point, Games, because that's exactly what we got this year. The human element in the show, and then, here's 90 minutes worth of fucking monsters beating the shit out of each other. Or just monsters on screen. And yeah, it works. It works. Oh my god.
And I think with the season 2, if they listen to a lot of the criticism the first season got, areas to improve on, I'm sure they will. I'm really sure they will, because I'm sure they didn't know if they were getting a season 2 with this. It kind of almost had a conclusion, like it left a cliffhanger to lead into Godzilla vs. Kong, but it didn't really have a definitive ending. So I don't know.
That's what they were talking about. The reason why they didn't announce a season 2 was because they wanted to associate it with the upbringing of New Empire. And now that last week as well, the CEO of Legendary came out and said that they are ecstatic about how their marketing went and how the film has exceeded past their expectations. I think that all just skyrocketed. But however, you have to understand these multi-contract deals, which is what they have, those take a while to be written up for actual legality reasons.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was in play for a while, and this just didn't spawn with the success of New Empire. But
Chase, what do you think of this? What do you think of this, Chase? What do you think? Do you think maybe that they had a clause in the contract for season 1 that said, "Yo, we'll let you still do a season 2, use Godzilla if, let's say, GXK makes this amount of money"? Do you think there was some kind of a clause like that in the contract?
No, because in the article that they posted yesterday about season 2, it talks about how they want to bring more Godzilla in season 2.
Even though
It's
the
not just
cliffhanger
gonna be
was Kong?
Kong-centric. Yeah, but that's the thing. We just speculated it was going to be mostly about Kong, but they specifically talk about how they want to bring Godzilla and more monsters and more action and thrills for season 2 of Monarch and spin-offs and stuff like that.
So here's another question I have with that, because I was curious. The last podcast we did, we talked about box office worldwide for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. It's sitting at a moderate $367 million.
That's actually not accurate because Box Office Mojo hasn't updated it from like 2 days ago.
And we still got this weekend. This weekend.
So it's sitting actually about almost actually worldwide, it's almost about 3. It's almost at 340.
But I'm also
actually, it crossed 340, or it crossed a miles. It crossed like
above 380. So
that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like in the high
it
threes.
Was not 380.
But I swear to God, I saw that too.
It's only made about 3 million the past 2 days. So it's
that's
not at 370 worldwide.
And that's what I'm wondering is, like, because we were speculating. I was saying 500 mil. I think you agreed, G1, 500 mil for the box office, and it ain't meeting that.
It's not.
But what does that say? Because it's slowing down. It is slowing down, but I don't know why it would slow down. There's nothing else in the theaters right now.
Well, that Civil War movie is coming out today, and I mean, granted, outside of that, there's no other competition for Godzilla X Kong. We saw what happened last week. Godzilla and Kong decimated Monkey Man and the Omen.
It got 2 solid weeks.
It got 2 solid weeks
to make its money.
I would say Civil War is probably going to get a lot of eyes on it.
Yeah.
But I'll put it like this. Its opening weekend is not going to do gangbang, right? It's not going to do gangbusters, blockbusters, but it's going to make money. All Godzilla X Kong really needs to do is hang on to, where was it sitting at last week? Like 30 million, 35 million on that weekend? If it can hit that,
it just needs to make like 30 million more, and it'll hit 400 mil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm like, in terms of like domestic box office this weekend, in order for Godzilla X Kong to stay number one for 3 weeks in a row, a couple of things have to happen. One, this podcast had to happen, right? We had to live stream for the 3rd week in a row to keep that streak going, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go watch the movie. Go watch it.
Go watch the
So
movie.
here's the thing. It's gonna. I don't know if Civil War is going to be really received overseas.
No, we're not. I'm talking domestically only, just domestically.
Okay, so domestically only, yeah. They are projecting Godzilla X Kong to have a drop this weekend. They don't expect it to be the number one earner, but that's because Civil War has taken like a big percentage of its IMAX theaters.
Yeah, well.
So.
Well, and
yeah,
which is a natural thing, but they're still saying that it's on. They project it not. They project the film to make almost cross 400, or not four. They project it to. Hold on, let me just pull it up.
well,
yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
while you do that, I want to touch on this because Variety reported on it. In the UK and Ireland, Kung Fu Panda beat Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. And it's even talking about how Civil War and the Amy Winehouse biopic over there
Oh, I
is
forgot
even,
that's a thing.
yeah, they're even talking, yeah, it's going to sweep over there. Which is funny because all the promotional material they did in the UK, and it's just like they went and saw Kung Fu Panda.
There's just not very many Godzilla fans in the UK.
Yeah,
It
it's
must
Leonard.
be.
They're all
It's Leonard, and that's
over
it.
there, all right.
It's just our good friend Leonard, and that's it.
Right? You get one good one.
And we gotta think that Godzilla hasn't opened in like all the territories yet. It still needs to open in Japan. It still needs to open. I also heard that apparently, when it does open in Japan, -1 will still be in Japanese theaters.
Yeah, Chase was saying.
-1 and Godzilla Kong will both be in Japanese theaters at the same time.
Yeah,
Dude, no, that's smart. That is smart because if you get those hardcore Godzilla fans in Japan, they go see -1 or go see this or go see this and then -1, vice versa, whatever. It's a Godzilla day for these fans, man.
I would totally do that in a fucking.
Oh yeah,
heartbeat.
absolutely.
I would love a back-to-back show in a fucking -1 and then GXK because you got the Serious Samba Academy Award-winning movie, and then you got the Balls to the Walls, Nuts in Your Face movie. Well, let's not say Nuts in Your Face. That was Transformers 2, and this was a better pyramid sequence because Godzilla he picked his monkey up and suplexed his candy ass, and I loved every minute of it.
Listen, real quick, Cody Rhodes won WrestleMania.
Oh God!
Just have to say on your show.
Listen, if you wanna go crazy for a WrestleMania fucking weekend, go to JR's GAM fucking live stream page and look at WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. It's a riot. We were dumb.
My voice still hasn't recovered fully. When The Undertaker showed up, I blew my voice, dude.
I think that's
Wait,
why
the
I
Undertaker
had.
showed up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin in that spot, but apparently Stone Cold didn't want to do it. So instead of the glass shattering, you heard the gongs, and I was like, "Fuck it." It was dope.
It was still because what were you saying? The Rock and The Undertaker have never seen each other in the ring
At WrestleMania. Nope.
and then The Rock, dude, you could tell he shit. I watched that clip over and over. He shit his pants.
It was so
like
good.
Kong looking at Godzilla.
No, wait. Yes, it's so good. It's so good.
It kind of fits because, you know, Adam Wingard literally said he designed his version of Godzilla's personality off of The Undertaker. So.
Oh, I love it. That's even better. He's putting Kaiju to bed. I love it. Yes, that's great. Go ahead, Chase.
So with the estimation this week, they're estimating New Empire to make 15 to 20 million.
Okay.
But that will have it surpass Kong Skull Island as the second most successful MonsterVerse film in the franchise. which ultimately will end a lead with the film having a final box office in. I mean, they're planning on keeping this movie in for as long as they can.
What?
They're estimating it's on track to at least make $500 million.
All right, so they're estimating, they're projecting $15 to $20 million domestically this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a give or
That
take.
doesn't count China or anything like that.
What?
Yeah, no, just domestic,
China-
because I'm trying to figure out how we can stay number one this week, you know? Like, look, I'm not looking for Barbie numbers or Super Mario numbers, right? But for crying out loud, I mean, what came after Barbie? What was the next big thing? Was it Ninja Turtles? What was the next
Oppenheimer?
big? No, not Oppenheimer, but Oppenheimer was
No,
something
they
else.
launched same weekend.
There was something, but I was just like, oh God, we're gonna take a bite of this.
No,
Like that. Oh, I think
I
it was the
think
Meg.
it was Ninja Turtles, or was it Transformers?
It might have been Ninja Turtle.
Ninja Turtles or Transformers, yep. But
Yeah.
you know, I wanted to see Godzilla try to ride that wave. 15 to 20 to $25 million. I was thinking it needed 30 to 35. In between that,
Yeah.
to stay afloat at number one, because even though I think it's gonna make money, like I said, I don't think it's gangbang money. I don't think people are gonna go out in droves to see Civil War in IMAX. And I used one particular movie from last summer as an example, almost a year ago. It was made for IMAX. It is franchised. It is one of the greatest movie stars in fucking history. And when it came out, that shit flopped so hard. I'm talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh yeah.
That shit came out and they pulled it like that. Because
Oh,
it
yeah.
made no money. It made zero money. It got absolutely crushed. And the reviews for it was good. So I look at that and I'm like, it doesn't need to be an IMAX. Godzilla vs. Kong? That's a premium theater fucking show, right? Because it's fun. It's ridiculous.
It's WrestleMania.
It's
the
WrestleMania.
movie with giant monsters.
With giant monsters.
Yes.
But yeah, no, 15 to 20, that's those projections seem about right. I can totally buy that, but if it came 30 to 35, I'd say there's a huge chance we're number one again. I knew I should have went to see it again this weekend.
I mean, let's just hope, because as it stands, roughly 380 mil right now.
I mean, I went to go see it yesterday.
Supporting the cause, baby.
International or worldwide, 380 mil. That's what it's sitting at. And the reason I brought it up is like, is this where the Monsterverse is headed? Because this movie, if it doesn't make 500 mil, what does that mean in the grand scheme of the Monsterverse? Yeah, we've got the TV shows. I love the idea of the TV shows, but does that put to bed the sequel to this? Because if you factor in the budget and marketing, that's 200 and something mil.
Well, the thing is
It'd be
that's
260 to be correct.
that's the whole point. This movie is stated. The actual numbers aren't out, but we don't know the final ultimate budget for this film. But it's already. But they're leading this off as this was our cheapest MonsterVerse movie to make to date.
Which is crazy.
Okay.
So if you're running
Yeah.
with that 135 million, and then if you want, if they're going by 2 times the budget for what they're wanting, that's pretty much already has passed. They're
Yeah,
already
we're
there.
already past that. It's pure profit, baby.
Well,
At
that
this
means
point.
they made essentially after budget marketing, which is about 260 mil, both together, and it made roughly 380 right now. Is that enough of a profit made to continue this series? Because they were banking on it.
It's not a break
It's
even.
more successful than King of the Monsters for sure, and I won't dog it for that. But King of the Monsters, they were like, yeah, we're getting new directors. Is this one of those times where it's like, yeah, we're getting a new director?
No.
I think
No?
it is. I think where it stands with the MonsterVerse is that Legendary and Warner Brothers know where their ultimate takes are going to end. And I think that they're not trying. I mean, of course, they would love to have movies surpass 500 million or 600 million, but I think that because the monster verses have always kind of ended relatively close to together, with the exceptions of King of the Monsters and 2014, I think that it doesn't. They're already past that on the our movie success run. They're already saying that we're already happy with what this film has done.
Well, I mean,
this is just pure ticket sales. This ain't even counting like pre-orders for the home video release.
Right.
This isn't counting the toy sales.
well, I mean,
Right, but the thing is with
the
that
marketing
is
and the box office are definitely
the
two
thing is-
different things.
the thing is with like physical media sales though, that's going to cut into more money of their budget if they do that. So that's and then that, I mean, that's not an insane amount of money, but it
costs money to
still
make
money.
it costs money to make these discs and
Yeah.
the boxes, and I get that. That's why digital is a thing, man. That's why a lot of people just go digital. The day comes when you can only buy digital versions of these movies, I'm gonna be very sad,
Oh.
sad panda.
Dude, that's starting to backfire now because they're saying the server costs are
There-
kind of exceeding physical media now.
There it is.
Oh yeah,
Server maintenance is expensive.
Speaking of the physical release, can I touch on this for a minute?
Of course.
Some schmuck on Twitter started complaining about that 6-disc Monsterverse set. I'm sure y'all have seen it. That steelbook that's got like
Very
all
pretty.
5 movies plus a bonus disc with special features.
Yeah, I'd love
And he
to
was
own it.
saying that it looked like it was AI generated or AI enhanced or whatever. And no, the hell it's not.
He's
It's
AI
literally
enhanced.
just production stills with a crappy like watercolor paint photo filter that's been around since like the 90s.
Listen, he has no ass. Okay, that's my rebuttal to that. He minuses an
Calm
ass.
down.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It is a pretty fucking box set. It really is. I don't like the uniform color.
No,
That's just
no,
personal.
they gotta stop that. Each movie had a distinct color
distinct
palette,
color
and I
palette,
hate
yep.
the fact that it's all GVK, GXK. Stop it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I really like the color palette of King of the Monsters. Every monster had a definitive color,
Yeah.
and we've just abandoned that.
I like Skull Island's orange
I don't
hue.
understand why they feel the need to have this like unification color scheme thing. Which is really, really dumb because it's all the same universe, but they're all different directors and stuff, and they have their own styles.
What if they threw the Monarch season 1 in there, bro?
That would be dope. Hope
that'd be
Apple releases that physically.
Here's my money. Take it all.
Take my money, please, so I don't have to keep on paying you for a subscription cost.
Well, here's the funny thing. I won't lie. I'm gonna buy GXK when it comes out.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna buy it VOD, right? On
I already
Amazon, the
have
way I
that
already have it.
6-disc set on pre-order.
And then I'm gonna buy the 4K special edition. Hopefully,
The steel
steelbook.
case.
If it's a good looking steelbook, I mean, I went crazy to get that Best Buy exclusive after the fact it came out for GVK. I fucking love that cover. I love that box set. And then I'm probably gonna go and shell out and chill for the box set. Honestly, I really do. That's like the final box set that Toho came out for all the monster movies up until 2005, right? I was like, why can't they just put that out here, please? Or just throw some subtitles on this shit. Come on, what the fuck? Because that was beautiful. That was beauty incarnate. So I'm probably going to buy that, and then I can say I own all the movies 3 times. And I wouldn't be mad at that. I really
just 3 for you, huh?
Well, I'm lying. I don't own all movies 3 times. I don't think I bought... No, I did not buy Skull Island. I did not buy Skull Island VOD. I waited for the Blu-ray to come out. I got the 4K, I think. I didn't buy that VOD. I got all the Godzilla movies though. And all of them. Well, I don't care. I don't care. But
Yeah, no, it'll be. The only reason I was bringing up box office is because it's like it made money for sure, but it wasn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. That's just budget. We're not talking about merchandising because Toho takes their cut from everything.
well, that's true.
And that's why I'm curious because, look, the TVs, I'm going to say straight up, stop making these movies in the Monsterverse and just go TV series.
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
You can't do
Yeah,
it
no.
because after
I don't agree with
GXK, you just can't do that. Because here's
After
the deal.
GXK, you do what you and me talked about last podcast.
I
and
100
end it
I
and do the
100%
TV series.
I 100% agree with that, right? Even though our compadres on the bottom of the screen, the way I'm looking at it, don't agree with that. Well, there's no way. We wrote our ticket in, bro. Last week we wrote our ticket in. Shameless plug. Go peep last week's podcast live stream. It's unbelievable. We wrote the next installment of the Monsterverse, the next 2 to 3 installments of the Monsterverse. But the reason why they can't do the TV thing right off the bat, though, JR, is because of GXK. And like I said, my second viewing, the theater was packed, and I was like, damn, this is what I'm talking about. I'm sitting in a Godzilla movie, a movie that I didn't like the first go round, right? Well, not saying I didn't hate it, but I was just like, feathers were ruffled, my jimmies were rustled, in terms of my good old mission, bro. But watching it in this theater, with a bunch of children like that atmosphere was alive, man. These kids were loving it, and I was like, that's what I felt like when I was a kid. So that is the reason, and I give Wingard all props in the world for that. He knew the demographic he was trying to get. He made an Avengers movie with giant monsters, and it fucking worked. That's the craziest thing about it. Now, it didn't work in terms of making Marvel money, but it doesn't matter. Legendary saw that and said, we got our budget back? Yeah. We got the marketing budget back? Yeah. So we're making what? 68?
This movie's doing pretty well.
Yeah. He's like, we're making $68 million profit? Fuck it, pump out the other one. And that's what's going to happen.
All right.
And then
that's
you know
fair.
what? And you know what? And I was thinking about this while y'all were talking, especially when Chase was breaking down the numbers for the movie. I was thinking about this. You know why it's probably the least costly of the Monsterverse movies? They're in Hollow Earth most of the time. There's no giant buildings and cityscapes that you have to film to destroy. So the special effects, you're just focused on the monsters. Everything else is a matte painting in the background like Toho used to do. And it hit me just now. I was like, holy shit. One of the biggest complaints.
They're not spending.
Right.
They're not spending the big money on star power like that. Like,
Exactly.
we got Brian Tyree Henry, which is like the most recognizable actor in GXK.
I don't know. I still think Rebecca Hall is, but
Rebecca Hall actually is.
But I digress. It's Gia.
What the hell was she?
Let me stop.
I ain't never seen her in no movie except for GVK and GXK.
And she's still the greatest actress in the entire Monsterverse, except for Bryan Cranston and
Mark
Sarah
Russell.
No, never that. Never that. I was not a fan. Every time I see Mark Russell in King of the Monsters, I saw him swinging on a vine in King Kong 2005. I said, oh, God.
And also, you have to incorporate the fact that the monster scenes in New Empire, especially the Godzilla ones, as we know, are cut so quick.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And
there's some lingering shots with Kong. It's just they really rushed the Godzilla stuff.
But again, Godzilla was,
That's
especially
not
at the
point.
beginning.
I'm talking budgetary wise. That's why it's also cheap.
Yeah.
It's not like long fledged out scenes, which, whether that is something you're into or not, that's a whole different story. But that's also why the budget was so.
And that's going to end up. I think it's going to end up hurting them if they try to do that with the next installment because, and I was hearing people at work already saying if they do another one in the Hollow Earth, I'm not going to the theater.
Let's not talk about your work, JR, because it sounds like you just hate everything.
Just Neanderthals.
Yeah, let's not.
But it is a valid point. Like, if they end up doing another one in the Hollow Earth, I'm going to get a little upset.
But you could call this the Hollow Earth trilogy, and that would make me, I'd be like, I buy it. But so, because here's the deal:
I
if that's
think
what's
the
cost,
Hollow Earth, it still needs more story.
yeah,
I
if
think
it's
there's too
cost,
much of the
Yeah.
Hollow Earth that needs
They
exploring.
said that they've only explored 5% of it.
Should a Hollow Earth exists?
well, you leave your house right now and start walking to New York City. The Hollow Earth is like
when you have a giant monster swinging around in the Hollow Earth, and then there's some more Hollow Earth, and then an even more Hollow Earth, and then whatever the fuck was in the TV show. There's like 6 layers of Hollow Earth that we know of.
well, how big do you think the Earth is, bro? It's
It ain't
gigantic.
big enough to have a whole 9 other ecosystems underneath.
Okay, I'll put it like this.
It's also a movie about giant monsters.
Hold up. No, I'll put it like this. Take your head, for instance, right? You look at your fucking cranium, you look at your skull, you look at your head, right? And you go like this, and you rub your forehead like this, and you go, damn, I can feel the skull. But if you had to get surgery right here, right? And they cut, you got about an inch or so of fucking skin, maybe more, before you actually get to the skull. The Earth is the same thing. Now imagine your head on a gigantic level, and I'm not talking about in your pants.
Listen, so what you're saying is Biolante is the core of the Earth.
It's what I'm saying, primordial goddess. We're not going into that. Let's not get Chase riled up.
Nope.
We're here to talk about Monarch Season 2 and the spin-offs, and what we're talking about in terms of the money that GXK is making, how that can contribute to keeping the shows going on, making the next movie. Because again, at this point in time, if Wingard's saying I have a trilogy in store for everybody, that third movie's coming. And if Monarch Season 2 is now confirmed, and not even Monarch Season 2 that needs to lead into the next Godzilla Kong movie, what does the spin-offs mean? Gam, I'm going to go to you because I know you only got about 20 minutes left before you got to go back to work. So Gams, what do you think these spin-offs could possibly mean for the future of the Monsterverse and the next Godzilla and Kong movie installment?
Oh, so much it could mean. Like, we could get, like, everybody has asked for, like, spin-off movies for, like, Mothra and Rodan and all that. But, like, I could see, like, a Mothra show where you could, where people, like, explore Infant Island, because Infant Island was confirmed to exist in King of the Monsters.
It's true.
But we've never gone there. So we could have like an Infant Island show, or like wherever the Rodan went show. I don't think he went back to Isla de Mara or anything like that, but like wherever he went.
He went to Mount Aso.
Just yeah, went to Mount Aso. And that's another thing. We could have shows set entirely in Japan. Because Japan is like one of the least touched aspects of the Monsterverse, because, you know, they want it to be this worldwide thing, not just, you know, bottlenecked in Japan. That's where all the giant monsters go, according to the Toho-verse. But, you know, we could have a show set in Japan and see what titans are over there, like the Yamato no Orochi, or there's so many different angles that they could do this with, and they could even bring in other Toho monsters if they want to. Because, you know, they said the Ion Dragon was supposed to be Rodan, but they decided to make it a more original monster because they thought it was like too early to have a Toho monster in there.
Not even just that. If they straight killed Rodan, it would have been pissed.
Especially if they didn't give him his OG Rodan roar. Sorry, gotta bring it up every time that big guy's name is mentioned.
Well, I see. I saw the cut where it was Rodan, and when Godzilla rips him in half, he just boxed like a chicken. Chase, I'm gonna come and drink. I'm gonna come and drink your blackberry Pepsi. I'm telling you right now.
I'm just saying, Chase, stop eating late night KFC. You're having the weird dreams.
Well, here's the deal.
Or maybe like a TV show could explore that Godzilla BC concept that everybody wants.
Good.
I don't think everybody wants that.
But how that's got to cost money, because it's going to be a special effects heavy show. That's gonna be ridiculous. Unless they go Netflix route and start doing animated shows, then I could totally buy that. I can totally buy Legendary Godzilla BC in an animated form. Whether it's computer animated or not, it's cost effective.
I mean, it's not that. I don't think that the budgetary thing would be too much of an issue if Apple's fronting at least part of the bill, because like Apple put out 2 seasons of Prehistoric Planet, and those shows are gorgeous.
That's true. That is okay. So let me ask you this though. What does spin-offs mean? Because I think that's all they said was spin-offs. They didn't specify live action. So
yeah, they were very vague on it, and they're not. And it's like they're not saying like it's spin-off shows or spin-off movies. They're just saying spin-offs. So I guess that's like up to speculation now. However, they were talking about when Monarch season 2 drops. It's going to be like 2026.
Oh, that sucks. But Chase, let me ask you a question then. What you just said, Chase. What do you classify as spin-off? Because when you're talking about this,
I mean, like I think it would be more like show centric because it's tied with Apple. So I think it's going to be more like for Apple TV. But I think, I mean, like if you're asking me like an idea, I think like almost like, you know, how like the Haunting TV shows are and stuff, where it's like the ghost hunters. It's like Monarch Hunters, and it's like episodes of Monarch where it's G Team having specific episodes centric about a certain kaiju.
Yeah, we'll get into the speculation what the shows can be. But when you said they didn't say, you know, what a spin. Like I'm trying to understand what your definition of spin-off is.
I don't think the spin-offs are going to be like motion pictures. I don't think they're going to shell out.
I don't think so. But I'm talking about
or 150 million for movies back to back like that.
I don't think so either. I think the movies are going to be the movies, but like Apple TV, Monarch season 2 confirmed, and spin-offs. The only thing you can think of is TV shows when it comes to spin-offs. Your statement beforehand was a little off. I was like, what do you mean that's not what spin-offs mean? That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole avenue of speculation in its own because they were so vague. I mean, we honestly don't know what that means in terms of spin-offs.
Because I can't see them just producing like little shorts and calling those spin-offs when season 2 starts or leading up to season 2. To me, a spin-off is you have Monarch, and now we have Apex. Well, what do we do after Mechagodzilla, right? Well, we don't know. We're gonna explore that. Okay, Jaguar, whatever. But Gams, something we talked about before. Joshua Jackson trying to get something off the ground. You sent me the tweets. You showed me that.
Yeah. O'Shea Jackson Jr. with his
O'Shea
Jackson, like anime.
Right. So could we get that now? Could like one of the spin-offs be? Because again, animation is cost effective. And I'm down for that.
Well, Chris from Toho Kingdom came out and was saying we have been trying to get that show greenlit with Legendary for a long time now. And he just said that like 2 days ago. Like, if you guys want this show, you guys have to start making more of an outcry for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And they've dropped concept art like in the past couple days since this announcement about spin-offs to Monarch and all that. And it's looking really good. Like they put out a concept art for Kumonga of all kaiju.
Listen.
Don't say Kumonga. I'm a sucker for that spider, dude.
I guess it like depends. Do you think like an animated cartoon could be considered a spin-off?
Oh, it absolutely is.
If it ties into the grand scheme of the MonsterVerse, yes.
Well, we also know that they're going. That's the one thing too is they're going to be announcing that 7 Levels video game this year. So that's something in the MonsterVerse. I mean, I would be okay with I really would like an animated series. I think that'd be cool.
It's
But
called
however, they
Skull
have tried with
Island.
Kong Skull Island.
It's called Skull Island. It's on Netflix. It's really good. The episode 8, I think.
It's not looking like that's getting a season 2, sadly.
Well, what would you do with a season
any
2 of it?
Season 2 of that. I don't think that's happening.
Oh man, I really wanted to see what happened next. Damn. Homegirl woke up.
I
My
know,
mom was
if
there.
only-
That was crazy.
If only there was a whole TV series called Monarch
Oh my goodness.
season 2.
Oh my goodness. Wait the sweat off my brow.
Like for some reason, when it comes to Netflix and kaiju stuff, they seem to flop a lot.
Not true. Ultraman. Just saying. Even though he hasn't even, it's more like Iron Man, but still, I digress. That's 3 seasons. Trey.
I don't think Netflix is the place for it. And I don't think necessarily because, I mean, we all hated the anime trilogy, but we all like Singular Point.
Netflix ain't the place for it.
Well,
Netflix showed that
we
it's
also watched
it could be
Singular
done.
Point as it was coming out in Japan with fan subs rather than waiting for Netflix.
Yeah.
Wait, but the true Godzilla fans, Gam, watch Singular Point all over again on Netflix just because.
Which is what I did because
I mean, that's what I did too. But
Okay, good.
watched
how many
it
people
because
do you
I did
think
it.
that?
I mean,
Yeah, well,
I'll be honest. I only watched
that's-
one episode more than the rest, and it's usually really at the end of that episode. So I'm just saying. It's great.
But I don't know.
Godzilla
There's
thing of all time.
room for MonsterVerse anime. I just don't think Netflix is the place for it.
No, it's not gonna be, and that's the whole thing.
You gotta it's gotta be on Max. You gotta keep it consistent. If you're gonna have your shit on Apple TV Plus, put your anime on Apple TV Plus. Stop making people go elsewhere.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I feel like they definitely should have like a unifying, this is your one-stop shop for everything MonsterVerse. This streaming platform in particular, instead of having to go to Netflix or Apple or HBO Max.
Well, it was supposed to be Max. It was supposed to be Max. Most of the Showa era Godzilla films, if not all, are on Max right now. And the legendary movies.
True, they are.
Why are we doing this jumping around? Keep it consistent on one platform and call it the MonsterVerse.
Well,
have it as a category and draw people into it.
Well, because
license the movies out to other platforms as needed, but always keep them on your platform first and foremost.
Well, you gotta look at it like this: who has Disney type money in the world? Apple. Thank you. Apple has Disney type money,
and especially because Max is fucking failing. They're losing money monthly.
That kills me.
They're like bleeding.
Kills me because I love that streaming service. I love Max.
They have nothing to draw us in. Like,
what are you
that's a whole
talking
different
about?
podcast.
Yes, they do. They got the fucking Destination X and Expedition X and
trust me.
and all that fucking shit.
So they got the stuff to draw people like you and me in because that's where all of my like Curb Your Enthusiasm's on there.
Well, no, but here's the deal. You got to go back, and I know we're getting way off topic, but it all leads to a certain point. But you got to go back to why did people subscribe to HBO, for the past 40 plus years? I mean, fuck. I had literally, what HBO stood for? Home Box Office. It was a box. HBO was a fucking box you got and you plugged it into your TV and you got movies through the fucking telephone wires to your TV. I had HBO when I was a kid. We had a box. And it was, even though it was a home box office, you know what I'm trying to say. But literally it was a fucking box. Before I had cable, I had HBO. And that was the only cable channel I had. And I didn't know what cable was yet. All I know is I got HBO. So we used to watch all of the fucking HBO movies. HBO has been around, I mean, goddamn, that might be like the first legit non-streaming service, but fuck around and find out. That's a streaming service.
Yeah.
It was HBO.
And it had some of the greatest TV series of all time, Tales from the Crypt, The Sopranos, etc.
Yeah, I mean, they can bring all that back.
Go to watch comedians.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
George
another
Lopez.
The first 7 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then George Lopez's first stand-up was on HBO.
I mean,
A lot of them. Carlos Mencia as well, if I remember correctly.
oh, fuck that, man. I remember Def Jam Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah.
That was what
But
we used
that's
to
the
watch
thing.
on Friday nights.
HBO, it's just like, it isn't what it used to be. And that's where I sit here and say, Warner Brothers, whether or not you own the licensing to these movies or not, get a collection in the Monsterverse and have all the stuff, including the TV series, do an anime spin-off, and just, if you need the licensed stuff out, like, oh, you can watch King of the Monsters on HBO Max and Netflix, do it. But always keep it on your platform. They do this thing where they kick it off one day. Like, King of the Monsters is like Russian roulette with HBO for some reason. Like, it's there one day and you're like, oh, this shit's banging, and then it's gone the next.
Yeah, it's on Netflix for some reason.
Yeah.
Or Tubi. I'm like, why is this shit on Tubi?
It's got to do with licensing and shit.
But that's all money that's being given to those franchises, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because those distributors have to pay to have those shows on it.
So, like,
True.
I do kind of disagree with JR a bit. I think when it comes to licensing, I like the idea that they're licensing it to Apple because, again, Apple money, right? Like, fuck it. If they're gonna foot the majority of the bill to make this, and Toho is like, yeah, sure, just keep giving us the money and we'll let you use Godzilla all you want. It's fine. It ain't our Godzilla. Our Godzilla's an Academy Award winner now. Fuck y'all, right? They might even charge more. The Monsterverse might actually crash and burn because Toho has an Academy Award. But no, I do like that idea of, not bringing it all together because it's not Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of the... I mean, as much as we love the fucking thing, Godzilla is just not... It's not that popular in the zeitgeist, even though
I mean,
they're trying to do it, and it
I'm
seems
gonna
like it is.
back on that because it's not like Harry Potter or anything like that, but in terms of like cinematic universes, it's the second to last man standing. You got Marvel, which is Marvel, but it's still kind of crashing and burning right now with its spin-off shows being dog water and the movies not making much money anymore. The DCEU is gone. It's still trying to be rebooted through James Gunn.
James Gunn's going to save the world.
Dark Universe, that never took off the ground to begin with.
The Dark
And
Universe. Dark Universe wasn't.
Star Wars is doing whatever the hell they're doing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're comparing everything. Gotcha. Yeah, that's true.
Like right now, the Monsterverse is like it's got the strongest legs almost out of all those cinematic universes.
You make a great point there. That's absolute truth. But Warner Brothers went out and got James Gunn to course correct with DC. And I'm telling you, that Superman movie is going to be something special. And what that leads into, with the way their plan is, I mean, it is kind of hit or miss because not everybody wants DC shit. But let's not fucking, we can't pretend that Joker wasn't great. We can't pretend that the Batman wasn't great, right? And they have nothing to do with the bigger picture either, that even in connection to each other. But they know how to produce great films. The problem was they didn't know how to do the cohesive universe if it wasn't Harry Potter or Game of Thrones. And that's for the TV show. But the difference is they were basing those off of fucking popular novels. Harry Potter's what? One of the greatest novels ever written, right? One of the greatest fucking books ever sold, franchises. You got a plethora of DC comic books. You can take the best fucking stories and go for broke.
This is totally off topic, but it makes me wonder what would happen if Steven Spielberg stuck with directing Harry Potter.
Oh, shit. Wow.
Because he was supposed to be the one who directed all the Harry Potters, and then he turned it down.
I think Chris Columbus was the right choice for Harry Potter. The reason why I say that is Home Alone 1, okay? Chris Columbus film. He knows how to play to the children. Because when I saw Home Alone 1, I wasn't a child. I was in my teens, but I was like, yep.
It's funny you bring that back because I always wondered why it felt like Harry Potter was a Home Alone extension.
There it is, and that's the reason why.
Especially
Well, hey.
that first one.
The future is looking bright on both the MonsterVerse and the Toho angle, and I cannot wait for any and all of it. But I gotta go.
Well, if you get another break, we should be here. If you want to jump in, you rock on with your bad self, Gam Gams.
Yeah.
I appreciate the hour.
Of course. Yep, I will see y'all later.
Later, Gam
Be
Gams.
safe, pal.
All right, and then there was 3. JR is taking. Oh no, he's back, and JR is back.
Fellas.
And JR is
All right, I'm
back.
back.
So Gam Gam just
Sorry.
left, and JR returns. Look at that. It's what does it mean?
I was letting the wifey in, and I was having an asthma attack because it's spring, and the tree in my front yard hurts my lungs.
True story. Funny thing. I came in the room and I go, what the hell is that at the foot of my bed? And I look, and it is pollen. And I, well, how the fuck did that big ass piece of pollen get there? And it must have been stuck to my pant leg or something. So when I changed, when I got home, you know, I just threw everything on the bed. What's up, Nana? And then bam, it's all, you know, it was there. I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna have a fucking asthma, not asthma, an allergy attack or something.
Allergy, yeah. No, that's me right now. Like, sometimes I get the sniffles and everything, which is kind of kicking up, but mostly it's just my lungs and I can't breathe. It's okay. It's only a month of this.
Yeah, well, you better pump that fucking asthma.
Oh, I've got that stuff ready to go.
All right, so
But-
we've discussed a lot so far. Let's speculate a bit. Let's speculate what Monarch Season 2 could possibly be about. We all seen Monarch Season 1. We saw how it ended. We saw Shaw get ripped out and tossed through the fucking slipstream, if you will, right? That's what it seemed like.
Shaw said, no, I want to outlive you all. Deuces.
He's gonna end up in the next MonsterVerse movie, bro.
Oh, for Kurt Russell in Godzilla, the Hollow Earth.
Godzilla X Kong. They arrived. Biollante. No, but okay. We saw Kong at the end of season 1. Do we? Because this is where this is what I would do. I would like, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense because it's not in the right time period yet. But I would like to see the whole thing of 2019 play out on Skull Island. I would like to see, you know, that King Ghidorah's fucking, you know, mega storms across the fucking world, his mega typhoons across the world, the way it affects Skull Island. I would like to see, hell, maybe you see Iwi's retreating into the Hollow Earth. You know, and Monarch doesn't get it. They don't see that. They don't know that they could get there. Maybe Gia gets lost somewhere, or maybe that tribe that Gia's with perishes in the storm, which is the way they set it up in these movies. I would like to see something like that. But in order for them to do that, they would have to time jump 2 years. So I guess my question is, would you respect that? I'm going to go with you, Chase. Would you respect that the way season 1 ended was in 2017 and the way season 2 starts would be 2019, where King Ghidorah is already running amok?
I would pick it up exactly where it leaves off. I would do that because to me that's the only thing that makes sense. Unless they go, because like obviously how I feel, and I think how we all feel, is you don't show Kong at the end and not have that be addressed or brought up at all in season 2. I kind of would like the season 2 to be more centric to Kong's arc and fill in that gap of what has happened and stuff. But would that necessarily mean that Kong kills off all of the other monsters on the island? Or, you know, it's a thing where it's like, I don't know where they can go with it, but I am definitely thinking that's the way I would do it, is just pick it off from there. I mean, obviously they're going to explore Apex, and what's going to happen is Kurt Russell's going to come back and take down that Apex base. And they're gonna Apex is gonna move all of its Mecha Godzilla stuff off island.
No. There's no Mecha Godzilla yet. It can't be. It's 2017.
Well, we got the looming vibe of Apex being sinister for sure, though.
Yeah, definitely that.
So we'll see. Actually, didn't they? I thought when that part when they're having the conference in that one episode on the computer and stuff, they're showing like Monarch designs for an Apex weapon. I thought that was one of the things they were doing when they were that lady was on her computer talking to Mr. Simmons on the phone.
I mean, it could be a design for a Super X. I mean, like we talked last week, bring the Super X one back. Let's go.
On versus the Super X, I'd do it.
Yeah, right.
That'd be cool.
I'm not mad at Apex making Super X, you know? I just don't think... I think Mechagodzilla comes... And this is why the time jump between King of the Monsters and GVK is so important, because that makes sense. That amount of time.
They totally could do that. I just don't know progression-wise. I mean, how I think you would do it, since they were saying they wanted Godzilla part of it. You could have two split things going on, where people on Skull Island and then Kong, and then, like, let's say Keiko goes to move into the world, and then Godzilla's fucking all that shit up. Because they could have Godzilla fight another Titan in here somewhere before King Ghidorah and all of that. They could do stuff like that.
I just don't think it would be in a major city.
You could have two stories within the story, like they've been doing, and make that interesting in the way, you know. But it's just a tough thing to speculate, you know. But I mean, like, I think it makes sense to also time jump it, but I also can see them picking up off exactly where they left off. But I just don't know. That's a tough thing to speculate this early on.
It's crazy because so what I would do in terms of that, and I'm going to get to you in a second, JR, what I would do in terms of that, I love what you said about Keiko coming out, and I can't see Godzilla fighting another Titan anywhere near a populated area, because that would have kind of been addressed in the movies, right? But I can totally see her starting her research again for Godzilla, because that was what she was on.
Or she tries to go back looking for Shaw.
No. Well, yes and no. Only because she knows now how that shit works. He already knew. I mean, she knew, because when she sees him again for the first time in what she thought 2 weeks that she was down there, and now he's
3 months.
3 months, and now he's an old man. So she knows how time works differently down there. So I don't think, because she's a fucking scientist, she's smart, I don't think she's looking for him out there at that point in time, because she knows what just happened. You know? Yeah. Like, he's not going to get shot back in time. That probably will cause a paradox. But,
or what if he gets, like, zapped into, like, Illinois?
And that's a good, that's a good point. But I just think that the way they set that up, he's going to pop up somewhere else down the line. And somewhere else down the line, I would say, let's say at the end of season 2, 2019. Just saying.
I was saying, if you want to go, she goes back into the Hollow Earth, she dies, and then she becomes Biollante. I'm not serious. I'm just saying.
I know you're not serious. We already established the primordial goddess. No, but
and she is a primordial goddess.
So,
she's gorgeous.
But here's what I would do. With a season 2 confirmed, here's what I would do. I give the people what they want. And again, Jay, I'm gonna get to you because I want to hear what your take is. What if, you know, she's back and, you know, they don't just stay on Skull Island. They actually have to move around and shit. And she finds Monarch again, because who created Monarch? She was one of the founding fathers. Am I bugging? She was there. She was an
Yeah,
original.
and now her grandson runs
Now her
it.
grandson. And then she goes in, and who pops up? Ken Watanabe.
Or actually, not the grandson. It's her son that runs it.
I don't think he ran Monarch. I don't think he was running Monarch in the 80s. I think he was just a part of it, but I don't think he ran it. But what I'm saying is, what if...
I thought that's what they were saying, though, at the end of it. He's the one that's actually pulling the strings.
Oh, I gotta watch it again. You might be right. But all I'm saying is, even if he was, what if now in 2017, 2 years before his death, we get Dr. Serizawa, Ken Watanabe? I could totally see him in that show. And again, Apple's got the money to give him what he wants. And honestly, as a fan, I
Well, do you
hated
mean like
that.
we see Serizawa in the show, like for this, or like because like obviously he was in Monarch in 2014.
And he's in Monarch in
working with them.
2017 because he's in Monarch in 2019 defending Godzilla at the beginning of King of the Monsters.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find where you're elaborating on that because I'm just confused.
Keiko meeting Serizawa and seeing that there's another Japanese national looking for Godzilla and trying to protect him. Except she was doing that shit, 50 years prior, and then through an accident through the Hollow Earth, now she's in, not present day, but present day for that. And Serizawa's rocking. And I just think that would be a cool fucking thing. And granted, it might not even need to, it could be one episode. It could be one episode. Literally one episode. That's just Serizawa and Hush sharing notes. And I'd lose my mind. I'd be happy for that.
Guest cameo, do it.
Yeah. But JR, you had some thoughts earlier. Let's hear it.
I just think they should follow up the Mechagodzilla angle. Kong should be the main focal point of this season. Or Kong could be the spinoff. It could go either way. But definitely follow the storyline of the construction of Mechagodzilla. I think it would be perfect. The reason, the purpose, how, makes sense of it. And the season ends with King of the Monsters. That's how it should end. It ends with teams being evacuated from Skull Island for whatever reason. If Apex is on the island and they're doing their thing, making Mechagodzilla or whatever, do that. But also, if they go a Kong route and don't focus on Mechagodzilla, Skull Crawlers. There's so much left. That one that Mechagodzilla decimates is fucking huge. Way bigger than the Skull Devil in Kong Skull Island.
Yeah.
I want that. I want some of that. I want to see that. Whether it's on Skull Island or not, I want to see something like that. For sure. Skull Devils have to be involved somehow. And we can't, because the Mechagodzilla angle would work because they could sit there and be like, how are we going to power it? What do we use to construct it? And then, bam, King of the Monsters happens at the end of the series, and all you have to have is Jonah show up with the skull of Ghidra. And just be like, here it is.
It also makes me wonder, like, are we going to go into the arc of how Apex finds out about the Hollow Earth and finds out about the energy sources in the Hollow Earth?
Right.
They have to.
That's a great
They
point.
have to. They have to. Season 2 leaves a lot to be explored. And the spinoff, we don't know. A lot of speculation could be made. And the spinoff could be Kong for all we know. Or it could be this season. It would be dope either way. I'm okay with it.
I think the spin-offs, honestly, because they didn't clarify, I honestly think the spin-offs are going to be animated. I really do. Because again, it's cost effective and you can do so much more in animation. It was one of my biggest beefs with the first Spider-Verse movie. I love that movie. Gams. As much as you say I don't, I do. I just think they could have done a lot more. Like what they did in the second movie. They did everything. I was like, they did everything but Spider-Man. Oh my goodness gracious. We have a chat. Oh my goodness gracious. If it isn't someone from the G Show Facebook page, I gotta say, my God, my heart just swelled up and I love it. I just seen a news article from IGN about Series 2. Sigh. Uh-oh. Am I alone here finding all the Monarch stuff really shit? It all looks very pretty, but it's shit. LOL. Okay, Mr. Kemp. Listen. It's me, G1. Alright? You know me from the Godzilla. Well, not Godzilla. From the G-Show page. We've been there a long time. Oh, I'd love to see John Goodman more involved in Monarch Origins with Monster. Holy crap, we were just talking about this the other day in our group chat. I also would love to see John Goodman back before Skull Island. It would make sense. The problem is, would John Goodman come back, and how much would it cost to keep him for more than a minute? That's the crazy thing, right? That is the crazy thing.
And it's not necessarily that the Monarch stuff is shit. I think the Monarch stuff, because they thought they only had one season, because we didn't know where it was going, kind of felt rushed. It's not what I expected, like we were talking about. I was expecting the X-Files, but Monsterverse. And I honestly think they should still do that in a spinoff. Keep the established continuity going for season 2, based off of what was established in season 1. Run with it. Run with the Mechagodzilla angle. Implement the bits of Kong that need to be implemented. And then for that really, the us that are used to, unsolved mysteries and stuff, or X-Files, do Monarch. You know what you could call it? Monarch Secrets Unfolded.
Or Monarch
It's a spin-off
Classified.
show. And you can literally get Commander Riker from Next Gen to host the shit and play it straight.
There we go.
Play it straight. Monarch file number 37.
Is it real?
I think
no,
that
it's a fake.
from what Matt Shackman was saying about Monarch, he tries to obviously not be so revealing with it, but from what it sounds like was that they had a lot of ambition for the show that they necessarily did not know how to utilize in a way with part of their budget. And I think what this season did was take their ambition to understand what to do with their second season. And I think season 2 is going to be a lot different than season 1. And it's going to be, I feel like they're going to have more of an answer of how they want to pace the show. As far as it being shit, I think that comes to your own expectations. I feel like a lot of people expected this show to be just monsters galore. And that's not the case with this show. This show had a story that it wanted to present to establish some type of compelling storytelling. And whether how you feel about that was good or not, that's, again, all on you. But I feel like a lot of people thought this show was going to be Godzilla every episode fighting something, or them fighting a monster every episode. And that's not what we got. And that's okay if that's what you thought, but I think that's just...
It's not that that's what we got. I don't think that that's what it was marketed as. You know what I mean? I mean,
right,
like
right,
it
but
wasn't
it wasn't
Godzilla Monarch. It was Monarch
Listen.
Legacy of Monsters. So I see what you're saying.
This is what we're gonna do, and I'll film it myself. It's gonna be Unsolved Mysteries,
Oh boy.
hosted by Commander Riker.
Don't call it Unsolved Mysteries. That
No,
sounds
it's gonna
dumb.
be
Just
like
call it
it.
Classifieds.
It's gonna be Monarch Classifieds, and it's gonna be Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, but in the context of the Monsterverse. It would be hilarious.
It
It
would-
would be great.
Listen,
That would be so cool if it was like
Eyewitness accounts.
No, wait.
Eyewitness accounts with demonstrations.
No.
Dude, Dude, it's the Loch Ness monster, and it's like a baby Tiamat, and then it's like Bigfoot, but it's a baby Kong.
We get the interviews with the real people that have seen it, and then the dramatic demonstrations. You can't tell me this isn't like a perfect idea.
It would be a perfect idea, although for one particular point that y'all fucking missing. The monsters already exist. This is not a thing. You can't say, man, do they exist?
Because if it's pre-2019.
No, it has to be
pre-2019.
It needs to be pre-2014. Monsters exist.
Yeah.
So now, I mean,
do that.
No, I don't
There's
think.
Would
they go that far?
Where they're like the ghost of sheer mountain or whatever, and they keep hearing like ghost wailing noises in the mountainside, and it's just a kaiju that's dormant, snoring.
That's ripped.
Awesome.
That's ripped right out of Ultraman. Stop! I've seen that episode. I've seen 5 of those episodes in Ultraman. I'm up to Ultraman Nexus. I've seen everything up to Ultraman Nexus. I've seen 5 of those episodes. What I'm trying to say is, in order for them to pull that off, seriously, now don't get me wrong. I would love something like that. I do. I would. I can't lie. But come on, man. Come on, man. In order for them to pull that off, it had to be pre-2014. Now, if you want to go in 2000, they want to do Monarch Classified, but it couldn't even have been Monarch, right? Because Monarch knows that these things exist since 54, whatever, even before that.
Listen, so what you're saying is Apex started out as an early 2000s conspiracy theory TV show in the same vein as Unsolved Mysteries.
Starring Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
You leave Steve Irwin out of this.
Listen. No, it's false. It's false.
Hold
Never
up,
happened.
Hold up. Mr. Kemp has come back. The script is bad. The acting isn't great. It's confusing as to what the story it wants to tell. Hence my opinion on being poo. I love it. They need consistency. As my man said earlier, I'm tired of companies ruining my childhood. I get it. I get it.
I get where he's coming from.
Personal opinion, man. Do you want to feel that way?
It's not necessarily a personal opinion, because it was back even with my review of it. I was like, yeah, a lot of the human family shit got drawn on. They needed to tighten that way up and fast. That's where the show was starting to lose me. It's not necessarily that I need to see a monster every 5 minutes. You got to have a compelling story. And I don't care about the characters other than Kurt Russell. That was my biggest problem with the show. The flashback stuff worked, and the modern day, the trio, didn't work for me. It was Kurt Russell's show, and then the past. It should have never had a mainline storyline to take place between 2014 and blah, blah, blah. It should have been season 2 or 3.
I liked the characters, but then there were certain episodes where I didn't like them. I was always a constant thing where it was like, oh, I like what they're doing, and then I don't like what they're doing. As far as the script or whatever, I thought the script was fine. I don't think that there were really any issues with it. I think when you come to your issues of if something is upsetting to you, that's just personally to you, and that's fine.
No, we all have to agree here that, I'm sorry, out of the main trio, the 2 females and the dude, they all sucked. They all sucked. They came off as whiny millennials. I get it. They tried to do a PTSD thing with the Asian one. I don't remember their names. I'm sorry.
It
was wasted potential. They tried to do the PTSD thing, and she came off arrogant and bitchy because she has fucking daddy issues. Fine. But then you have the son have daddy issues. Then you have the second female, the third of the trio have other issues. I thought this was a Monarch Godzilla show, and then it was all about family and not one Vin Diesel reference.
I don't know. I don't think that I understand where they were going with it. I just felt that there were some things that they brought up and addressed to where they just weren't realistic. Like, I didn't like the black girl at all. What her name was, I don't even remember her name.
Terrible, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that we have anything against. We just don't remember names. We're terrible.
I don't
with names.
remember. I don't remember the black girl's name, but I just did not like her.
No, she was a terrible character. And
She had two names. Remember,
Yeah.
she was undercover.
we can,
Not really undercover.
and that's the thing. She is how the neurological system works in Mechagodzilla because reasons. That doesn't work.
Let me finish.
No.
Let me finish.
Okay,
what
Go
I was
ahead,
gonna
Jay.
say.
Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead.
Chase.
I understand the premise of what they were trying to do, and I mean, personally, it's not what I would have done because I think that storyline ended up being flat. I and also, you know, your husband, your dad is in, you know, he has two families. I don't like that arc. But like I said, there were parts where I liked these characters being developed, and then there were parts where I didn't. And towards the end of the show, it just became a run around the same tree of the characters being very, very reachy. You know, they reached a lot, and I did have gripes with the stuff like with Kate being the way she was, and with the son. And gosh, it sucks that I can't remember their names.
You
So,
can
I don't know,
remember
maybe
Kate's
we don't
name.
want these characters. We don't want these characters to return in season 2. Then maybe, unless they're written better and more rememberable. But shit.
I think
Like I said, there were things I liked and things I didn't, but ultimately, yeah, Kurt Russell was what I was there for.
I think definitely for a season 2, don't focus on these characters as much. Get a new batch
Well,
because they didn't work.
see, and I don't buy that. I don't buy into that. Now the Kurt Russell thing, this is what's gonna hurt me. We really can't use Wyatt Russell anymore, right? Like we saw where he woke up and where
Right.
he ended up. We can't use Keiko because we know she went underground and in the early 60s, the late 50s, whatever it was, she pops back up 2017. So the only person you can use is young Randa. And that's where, again, I gotta agree. Like, yo, give me John Goodman. We were talking about this in the chat the other day, me and Game Games. Yo, John Goodman, bring him back. How much does he cost? But again, this is why I say, yo, if you can't get John Goodman, you get Ken Watanabe. One episode, Sarazara and Keiko, just, yo, your Monarch? Yeah. Your Monarch? Yeah. This is what we got now. Oh, shit. This is what we had then. Compare notes. Go for broke. I would love to see that. 2 Japanese nationals. Give me a whole episode in subtitles. I don't give a fuck. That's what I want.
Episode talking about Godzilla. Godzilla's history
That's it.
with Monarch. That's all we need.
Good God Almighty, could you imagine them breaking down the shit we don't see in the movies? Because again, in the movies, Serizawa's not trying to give you a whole history lesson. He cuts it down brief. 2014, he gives Ford Brody all he needs to know as to what's happening then. By the time King of the Monsters rolls around, Serizawa knows a lot more. He knows shit, right? So could you imagine in 2017, he meets someone who's been searching for Godzilla, you know what I'm saying, pretty much her whole life until she got sucked into the Hollow Earth, and now she has a second chance with, you know, proper technology and people who actually have records. Oh, I would love that. An entire episode.
yeah.
The origin of Godzilla. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Just comparing notes. Dude, you could literally start with just prehistoric times. There's your prehistoric.
Oh,
You could have, listen, hear me out. The first 4 to 5 minutes of the episode is ancient civilizations existing and Godzilla and its temple from King of the Monsters. Proper.
Okay.
And then cuts to the credits of the intro to the episode. And that's when you jump. Serizawa and her talking face to face. You have it a cliffhanger in the previous episode. They're talking face to face. Serizawa's like, this is everything we have on Godzilla. We are missing a lot. And this is where she's like, I've been studying him since 1954 Bikini Atoll bombing when we tried to destroy him. That's all you got to do.
Do we get Sally Hawkins back? I mean, I would.
Oh, yeah.
Like, easy, right? Bring her back, because
That's so easy.
her death in King of the Monsters was terrible.
And find her, but
No, but
because I mean, like, yeah, I'm just joking because she died years later, but
right, and she died terribly too. I'm telling you, the first time I saw King of the Monsters, I was like, "What just happened?" I blinked.
Oh,
What
yeah.
the fuck? I didn't.
I made it out there. I thought King Ghidorah just took a bite of snow.
That's what I thought.
I like how Ghidra's just eating people.
Shit. But no, I mean, and again, Serizawa, Keiko, make it happen. Episode 5, episode 6, episode 6. How many episodes was season 1? Was it 8 or 10? 10. All right, season 5. Episode 5, I mean. Episode 5, right there, right smack dab in the middle. At the end of episode 4, there's Serizawa and her seeing each other for the first time. Episode 5, the complete origin of Godzilla. And it don't even have to be a legit origin. It's just them comparing notes. I swear to God, I think that's something we're onto.
And you could build up Jonah and his terrorist organization. See, it was referenced that they had stolen and harvested multiple Titans in King of the Monsters before Mothra.
True.
That's your chance. That's your chance. Because you could tie it in. You could have Serizawa and her talking about Godzilla, and it's like, okay, what if they were somehow able to harvest him? It couldn't. Well, this is what would happen. Run with it. Do something with it. Elaborate on terrorist organization that you fucking established.
It kind of reminds me, though, of Pacific Rim and Ron Perlman's character, how he would harvest the organs of kaiju. Yeah, like
And that's
And
okay.
they're crap.
Listen, they're flying in the Hollow Earth in Godzilla X Kong. I think we can have Ron Perlman reprise his role from Pacific Rim in the Monsterverse. I'm fine with it.
Are you funning me, son?
Funning me, son?
That was the best line in that movie, bro. Are you funning me? Actually, no, that was the best
Had fun
line.
in that role.
That was the best line. The second best line was one, and that when Stack of Pentecost told this dude, he was like, "One, don't you ever talk to me like that," and whatever he said. See, I can't even remember what he said because "Are you funning me, son?" is the best line in that movie. Are you funning me, son?
He said, 1, don't you ever touch me again. And 2, don't you ever touch me again.
Thank you, brother Chase. There it is. Thank you, brother Chase. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
just watched that movie 3 weeks ago.
Man, I tell you though, I'm not mad at any of these. Hold up, why is my chair doing what it's doing right now? Ah, there it is. I'm not mad at anything that we've been talking about right now. It's all speculation. We have no idea what's happening. And again, the fandom has been divided. It has been. There's no lies about it. Whether it's with the movies, whether it's with Monarch, the show, fans have been divided. But the fact that we can be divided on shit just means that we're getting content. That's all I want. Give me more. Because again, something I might not like, someone else does. And something someone else doesn't like, I might love. For instance, I know JR loves Godzilla vs. Kong. I know it.
Motherfucker.
He just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to share it because he's got to be stingy and fucking headstrong about it. And I know for a fact that that's great. That's the second greatest monster movie of all time.
We
if
all
not the
hate
first.
Shin Godzilla.
What ancient Godzilla?
We hate Godzilla.
Oh, we. All right. What was ancient Godzilla's called though? He was called like Dagon, right?
Dagon.
Yeah.
Dagon.
Could a spin-off show that? Could a spin-off show in animated form the original Godzilla that didn't have an atomic breath?
That technically all would fall in line with the Godzilla BC stuff because in the comic it was like an ancient civilization that was worshiping him as a god.
Yeah. By the way,
But the comics aren't canon anymore, except everything after Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah, there's a lot they killed continuity wise.
Hold up. But the prequel comic to that had to be canon, right? Like Kong versus
It was
Camazotz.
It was for a while, not anymore.
So
Yeah, it's
Godzilla
not
versus
anymore.
Tiamat round 1 doesn't count?
No. No, they scrapped a lot of the continuity. Matt Jackman even said, "Yeah, we trust our writers added that, but we're doing our." He said, "We're doing our own thing with this. We're not going the if the writers want to add things canon, then they will." But he said, "We're not. As far as the comics go, we aren't incorporating any of that information."
So what you're saying is Kong versus fucking Camazotz and Godzilla versus Tiamat is not canon no more at all.
Tiamat was after. Okay, anything after King of the Monsters, I should have said.
Okay, so that's where so the Kong and that before GVK, the comic that came out, that's got to be canon. Kong versus Camazotz,
Yeah.
Godzilla versus
And
Tiamat.
it's the same thing with Godzilla versus Tiamat. Those two are canon. The story of Kong on Skull Island with his family and everything.
Hold on. Didn't Tiamat die in the comic?
No.
Tiamat did not die.
She ran
No.
away.
No.
She ran away.
So Kong's story on Skull Island with his family, out. The prequel to 2014 where he fights the blue alien thing, out. Godzilla versus Muto Prime, out.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that because
I'm okay with that too.
I hated the whole fucking thing that the thing picked him up and slammed him. That's why he broke his spikes, and then that's why it grew. Nah, man, fuck that. I wasn't with it. Nah, wasn't with it.
No, you could have just have him.
The art is
absorb
good.
A shit ton of radiation.
The art is good. I will give it that. I got that. That solid legendary book that had reprinted all of those in one.
Yeah,
It's a
the
good book.
Titanology.
Titanology.
one.
See, but that's the thing. Like, I really like that Kong prequel thing. Not prequel. It was a sequel because it happened in 1996. That story.
Yeah, it's all.
The one that happened in
Yeah,
1996, I really liked.
Anything before King of the Monsters, comic wise, is not canon.
It's a goddamn shame. Uh-oh. Isn't Tiamat the dragon from Dungeons and Dragon cartoon? Will Venga show up next? Good God, Mr. Kemp, are you serious? You're really my age. I can't believe you said that. I love it so much. And granted, I want to point out real quick. We are on about a 35 to 55, maybe 60-second delay. So when you put your stuff up and then I say it, I'm sorry, I just want to let you know.
Second.
It's not a second.
And
it's definitely not a
yes.
second.
Tiamat is the mother of dragons in Dungeons and Dragons and did show up in the 80s cartoon. I know this because I actively play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, but you weren't around for the 80s cartoon like I was, and apparently Mr.
Oh, I've
Kemp
been
was.
watching the shit out of it on my computer while I play Baldur's Gate. 'Cause
Really?
I
Is
have
it
three monitors.
is it because they had a cameo in the movie?
No, it's because I actually was curious and I can't get it to work on my TV. It's the audio file or the video file that I downloaded just doesn't mesh with Roku for some reason.
Oh, terrible.
So I can only watch it on my computer, which is fine. You know, PC Master Race.
Yeah. Keep telling yourself that.
From the depths.
But no, Hanna-Barbera, Godzilla confirmed MonsterVerse.
Dude, I actually wanted that. I wanted it to be like the characters in the Hanna-Barbera cartoon being part of the franchise, and we're following them around in a boat. I thought that would be cool.
And
Well, the said King of the Monsters as a reference.
Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Oh my god, are you so after Godzilla goes supernova and the camera's panning into that statue, the boat's to the left of the statue. It's there. I laughed.
That's what that boat is? I didn't know that was a Hanna-Barbera reference.
That's the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla reference. That's the ship from the old cartoon.
Oh, well,
It's
that's fucking cool.
Yeah, no, that movie's littered with references. Littered with references. That's why I love it so much. It's the best MonsterVerse movie. Anyways, that's actually 2014, but you know, still the best MonsterVerse movie.
Hey, I guess you could say the boat in 2014 was a callback to Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, right? God.
When Ford's on it before he sends the nuke off.
Oh, God. Nah. Oh, God, we're at a far cry from 2014 now. Sorry. I'm just having an existential crisis realizing that my realistic Godzilla franchise has just had him floating in the Hollow Earth.
Stop. It's not your realistic Godzilla franchise. Why do you say that? We just had -1 win an Academy Award.
That's if Toho continues that series, though.
Well, let's switch to that because apparently in a couple of weeks, Toho's gonna start pumping shit out for G-Fest Osaka. And honestly, I have no idea what's coming. All I know is Brother Chase put something in the fucking group chat yesterday, and all of a sudden, we were aroused. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Oh, it's like our curiosity was piqued. So, Brother Chase, were you able to translate that whatever Toho had put up in their tweet?
Yes.
Could you read that to us, pretty please?
You want me to read the whole thing, or just?
Yeah, man, just or whatever you think is the juicy bits.
Yeah, I think it's cool all either way because everyone's into different things.
So let's go. Do everything then. Fuck it.
So just know if I end up not speaking, it's just because Discord has kicked me off, and I'll just come right back.
All right.
So it starts with the opening of Godzilla Festival Osaka, and then a special screening of the new season of the TV anime Chibi Godzilla Strikes Back.
All right.
So I guess they're doing a Star Wars type thing, maybe. Then they have a spot here for latest information corner. Then the making of Jet Jaguar suit reproduction project.
All right, so far
and
so
then
boring.
Godzilla, Jet Jaguar Chibi Godzilla collaboration.
Yeah.
Then there's a greeting with, I believe, the directors. And then another information junket. And then it starts with...
He's checking his phone. So far I'm just like, yeah, okay, this is definitely not for us. I mean, it might not be for all of us, but it ain't for me.
Yeah, okay. You guys can still hear me, right?
Here we go.
I can now.
All right. Did you guys hear the last thing I said?
Nope.
I did the directors for the Chibi stuff.
Yeah. So they got the Chibi stuff, and here's where it's interesting. We have there's at the 1500 hour, there is a translation that comes up for domestic. Hold on. For this one, I got two. I got two translations for it, and this one here is screening of the trailer for the Japanese live-action Godzilla franchise.
What?
So that's one translation for that. And then the other translation I got for the exact same thing comes up as domestic trailer for the domestic live-action Godzilla series.
So, okay, define series in that term, right? Like, we have to break that down. We have to define what they mean by series because personally, I don't think they mean television series. I think they mean the next Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and Reiwa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even though I think this might still be a part of the Reiwa era. I don't know.
I honestly think because Takashi Yamazaki is going to be there, what I'd hope and what I feel like is the sequel to -1 announcement.
That's okay.
Don't do that to me.
No, right? But
is like, why would they be saying anything like that though? When Godzilla's birthday's in November, wouldn't you think they'd hold that off?
No, you know why? Because when does GXK come out in Japan?
The 26th.
Oh, that's
like we were saying earlier.
That's perfect timing. Go see the movie. You're okay. Whatever you think about this, check it out. Those Americans love us. They're gonna tell it just like that. Those Americans, they fucking love us. Okay, you know why? They gave us an Oscar. So we're gonna give them something special. You didn't like that movie? Wait till you see what we got next. And then on the 28th, Yamazaki's gonna be like, yeah.
And that's another thing too, because after that, there's a press junket where they are talking about the success of New Empire. What was I going to say? I completely forgot. I was going to say that they definitely seem to be writing off the Godzilla -1 Oscar and New Empire success. So I definitely could see that too. I just felt like anything really epic would be saved for November 3rd. But I'm going to be happy either way, but I'm just curious to what it is, because because we don't know, I just don't want to be too excited about something that might not happen.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You ready for this one? Hear me out. Was it last year, right? No, it wasn't. It wasn't, because Godzilla -1 came out in November, right? Of last year in Japan. Yeah. So it was the year before. So 2022, right? We got news that there's going to be a new Godzilla movie from Toho. And we were like, what the fuck, right? So that was 2022. That movie was already fucking filmed. They were probably working on special effects at that particular point in time, right?
Yeah.
So what's not to say that they announced on the 28th, yeah, sequel. And then on November 3rd, Godzilla's 70th. Trailer drop. Trailer drop. Because that's where you do it. That's where you do it. And if you think about it, it's kind of smart on Toho's part, because they went 2022 announcing, 2023, the fucking movie was already out. And then, was it? Yeah, in Japan.
You don't think that would be way too soon to have any footage put together if it was a sequel? Because, I mean, like, unless they start filming this soon... Unless it's like just like a teaser trailer where it's generated and like stuff.
No, I mean, honestly, it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have. They could have been filming, and there can be something happening right now. You know, and that's the best part. We don't know. We don't know. They could have something up their sleeve. Listen. They can be playing it close to the chest. And here's the beauty about them being in Japan as opposed to being in America. In America, you're going to have people who are going to talk. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to leak something.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's all about honor. They ain't leaking shit.
Yeah.
That's also another thing, too, because it's like, dude, could you imagine if this thing on the 28th is only exclusive to the Godzilla Fest, and they're talking about that they just showed the trailer for the sequel to -2, and now the rest of the world has to wait until November 3rd to see it.
I don't think they're going to show anything for that. I think they will announce it there, because it's so close in proximity to what GXK is doing, especially that just came out in Japan. So it makes sense.
If I believe right, they actually live stream their G-Fest.
Oh yeah, they do. So that's another good thing. But
I think they'll definitely mention whether or not they're making a sequel. I think Yamazaki will come out and be like, I'm currently in development of a sequel to -1. He'll say it. He'll talk about what he would want to do with it and whatever. And then come November, we get the trailer. And it's Godzilla -1. And again, they were when it got nuked.
Wait.
Just saying.
We didn't hear the word you just screamed.
Yeah, you just cut off like 5 times.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You sound like Donnie from the Wild Thornberries.
What's up with this mic? I don't think it's the mic. Hold on.
Well,
It's
see,
just,
we can
there
hear
it
you
goes.
just fine. Just when you scream, you sound like your mic's being cut out.
Oh, is it still being cut out?
no,
Good.
but it's
There
clipping.
it is. It's what?
It's clipping.
It's clipping hard.
Not that bad.
Is it still?
When you really project your voice, the mic cuts.
I feel you, Joanna.
Oh God, everybody left the chat.
All right, is that better? Is that better? Listen, all I'm saying is Godzilla and Gearus were on Odo Island when it got nuked.
I'm mad at it.
They have to do it. They have to. I haven't seen Anguirus in 20 years.
No. Oh shit.
20 years.
No shit. Well, King of the Monsters had an Easter egg.
That's not Anguirus. That's a skeleton of him. That doesn't count.
That was an Anguirus skeleton. It was there.
It was. It just doesn't count.
Anguirus confirmed. That's all I'm saying.
Monarch is hacking your systems. Be careful what you say. It's true. Listen, it's a Discord. They're sending all of my voice clips to Toho and Legendary, and they're like, yo, don't listen to this guy.
Yeah, it is interesting though, because Takashi did say that for the minus, if he got a sequel, he would want to make it a continuation, but figure out how to make the movie just as good as the first, but balance out from a perspective with two monsters involved.
Telling you, it's so easy. You could cut to before what's this fuck's plane lands, even before there's an army base. You could do something like that with
Prequel.
you. No. A prequel scene. Hear me out. A prequel scene. Godzilla and Anguirus, before they're Godzilla and Anguirus proper, are fighting over territory. And you could have like flashbacks to dates or whatever. Act like someone's like mapping this shit out as like just like an Easter egg to like Monarch or some shit, or just doing your own thing. And then Godzilla kills Anguirus. It happens 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 hours later, as Anguirus is dying, the nuke hits the island. And Anguirus has a delayed reaction because he wasn't fully dead. The radiation he's absorbing is also healing him. So Godzilla gets his goddamn rampage in -1 while Anguirus is healing that entire time. And because Godzilla had to regrow himself after being eviscerated by his own atomic beam, he can be weaker to where his atomic breath isn't as strong, and you could have his stereotypical atomic breath, or have it like in Raids Again, where it's misty looking. There's ways to do it where it would work with the monsters and not break continuity with -1. There's ways to do it. And as far as balancing out the monsters, that's easy. Godzilla's regenerating still. He's still coming back to life, and Gearus shows up and starts destroying shit. Easy.
And you know what's interesting to that though is that Godzilla's regenerating. Isn't there supposed to be another bomb that's supposed to go off before 54? Or
Yeah.
during that?
I don't remember.
How many
I'm not
bombs?
sure.
What bombs did we drop for World War II?
We dropped I remember Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then we had the Bikini Atoll test in 54, which has already been established in this before 54.
That's
So
weird. That's right. I keep forgetting that.
yeah, they weirdly do timelines just weird in this. But I'm just saying, there's ways you can do it. Totally do it.
What I was saying is if they have it where Godzilla's should be regenerating before another bomb goes off, that Godzilla that's regenerating is going to be stronger and probably bigger with more radiation. But since they've already have changed that continuity, I don't know where they're going with that. But yeah, man. I mean, I would love to see Anguirus again. I just don't
You
know
have
if that's
to.
what Takashi wants to do. Takashi did say that King Ghidorah obviously is his favorite villain for Godzilla, but
Listen,
I don't know.
Tagashi, if you put King Ghidorah in your movie, you will forever be known as Tagashi 6ix9ine. And you don't want that. You don't want that. I am so fucking sick and tired of King Ghidorah. Give me Anguirus. Give me Kumanga. Give me Kamacuras. Gabara. I'll take anything in the Showa era except Mechagodzilla and Ghidorah. Don't do those. Or Gigan. It's too early for Gigan. But just do something with a classic monster. You revitalized and reinvented Godzilla. He did.
It definitely could be a thing where with Minus, if they do a sequel, it could, since 54 has not been established yet, it could be a thing where it picks off. It picks up off in 54, and that couldn't be like their own footnote to branching off into like rebooting 54 entirely and implementing things like an oxygen destroyer or whatever. But I don't know if Takashi's going to do that.
I don't know how I would feel about an oxygen destroyer in the -1 universe. Not yet.
No, you
Not
can't
yet.
do it. You can't do it. They did it, but they didn't do it. They did not jump the shark, okay?
Yeah.
And create a MacGuffin. They used logic and science in -1, and that is why I'm like, that's perfect.
I really appreciate them doing that in -1.
Right, same.
But that's what I'm saying. Back to what I was saying.
Hold
Got comment. I'd like to see Megalon and Gigan done with the pretty CGI they love these days, 18 rated. Listen, I don't know what any of that means.
No, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love it.
That's for the Monsterverse, though. That's nonsense.
I get it. It makes sense. I get it. I get it as we're closing in on 2 hours. But I totally get it. I can't. We're doing it again, aren't we? These live streams can't.
No.
These live streams can't just go an hour. We don't do hour live streams here. No.
I gotta actually get off here pretty quickly, so.
His food is running through him.
Oh, no. I just gotta spend time with the wifey and start relaxing after a hard day of work, or hard week of work. But anyways, all I'm saying is, give me a classic Showa era obscure kaiju. Don't do King Ghidorah. Don't do Mechagodzilla. Don't do Megalon and Gigan. Do Kamacuras, Kumanga, Gabara, Rodan, Anguirus, anything along those lines. He could do it right. And the plan's there. They both were territorial on Odo Island. Godzilla defeated and killed until the radiation, because the body wasn't fully dead or he was still, living.
I can't buy that.
Hear me?
I can't buy that.
Hear me out. Godzilla tears Anguirus' neck, and Anguirus is slowly dying.
Yeah, but
the bomb goes off.
No, but did you see the timestamps in the movie?
You could still have it at that exact time, right before the bomb drops. Who's on that island? Who's there?
Oh, so what you're saying is Godzilla and Anguirus are... Oh, I get what you're saying.
Territorial dispute on the island before the bomb goes off. That's what I'm saying. Bomb goes off. The radiation takes longer to heal Anguirus because he was already dying. Godzilla gets his rampage. And then while he's rebuilding himself, that's when Anguirus attacks Japan.
So you
have it like 2 to 3 years later, bam, Anguirus is like showing up and people are like, what is that?
So you're putting a prequel in a sequel.
It's not necessarily a
That is a prequel. Yeah, it's a prequel. It's a prequel because the bomb goes off in -1.
Yes, but it could establish a greater series with these movies where it's like other things could be happening. It's a way to work in Anguirus.
Or hear me out. Godzilla's regenerating underwater and his current is taking him to someplace else where there's already an established dominant force.
I really don't care.
Ah, you son of a bitch. You would put that there right then.
I can't predict when my phone goes off.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sure you couldn't. Scumbag. But
I can. It's called putting my phone on silent.
that's what I
do
did.
that.
That's what I did while I just took the call with my wife outside 3 minutes ago. But no, I said, all I'm saying is Godzilla right now is just a floating pile of cells. The regeneration is taking time. And as it washes up because of the current on some random island that Anguirus is already territorial on, we can go from broke right there.
Yeah. But how do we do the whole Anguirus is already Godzilla size?
Godzilla's not that big in -1.
I mean, like, another giant Godzilla-sized monster exists. That's the problem that I was working out a while back when I saw this movie. It's like, how would you work in Anguirus? The only thing I could see is they both originated from the island territorial dispute. Because if Godzilla gets swept away on a current, mutating back into Godzilla's form, the only other thing I could see is like Americans were doing nuclear tests on other islands and it radiated a ankylosaur. Could work. You could work it in. It makes sense.
Or maybe that thing is just a super species.
True. It's an irradiated fish.
It doesn't
I mean,
even
we've
have to be
already
irradiated.
established that dinosaurs exist in this movie with Godzilla just popping up with no explanation.
Right.
Just that he was a god that the islanders worshipped. Which,
Yeah,
I mean,
he is the god of Odo Island. I love that. Listen, can we praise -1 just for a little bit?
that's what we're doing, man. We're speculating.
Love
it's all
it.
about praising.
But yeah, no, for sure. Trailer, Godzilla's birthday, or teaser trailer to show that they're working on the sequel. Something to be talked about with his ideas in a couple of weeks. I don't think it'll be more than that. What he, like, speculation, picking his brain. He's like, well, if I was to make a sequel, this is what I would want to do. So we'll see what he says. Jet Jaguar smells funny.
Jesus Christ. He smells like fucking... smells like oil.
Anguirus could be awoken by the same bomb they used to kill Godzilla. Could.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Absolutely could work.
Yeah.
I think if you want to go bomb route, that would be the most logical.
It has to be Anguirus. 20 years, man. That's a long time. Anguirus is like in nothing. Ever. I see a spider and I'm like, there's a Kumonga.
That's not true. Anguirus is in my box right there from the latest Super 7 set that dropped. I'm just saying, the OG Anguirus thing.
It was a singular point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Anguirus
forget
is
about
a
that show.
point.
Yeah, well, so was Megalon and Hedra, apparently, but they weren't, so...
No, they were represented better than Rodan was.
In the show?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You know what? This is going to be the shortest live stream so far. So far. We're going to end this right before 2 minutes. So, I want to say thank you to JR for joining us.
Listen, just know I've been right in the past and I'll be right in the future. I'm always right. And when I'm right, I'm right. Right.
Now remember him for being right.
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 Even the wifey says right.
He's lying.
I'm sure. And Brother Chase, thank you, sir.
Oh, absolutely. I guess regardless of what's going on, the 28th is going to be very interesting for when we figure out, we get our, whatever happens. Could be nothing, could be something. Who knows?
Abso-freaking-lutely. And of course, thank you, Mr. Kemp, for fucking hitting us up in the chat. I do appreciate that. And That's right. Stay safe, guys. I'm glad I caught the end of the show. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for keeping the G Show alive for what it's worth. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this edition of the Godzilla Block Party. 3 weeks in a row, we went live streaming. That's insanity. Never did that before. But I am G1 on behalf of everybody here. We are out of here.